In one of its most tragic scenes, Apple TV Plus' Constellation Episode 7 gives a glimpse of how Joe's story might end in the finale. Unlike the previous episodes of Constellation, which primarily presented noticeable distinctions between the alternate universes in the show's storyline, Episode 7 baffles and fascinates viewers by going back and forth between timelines and parallel worlds. These changes in its narrative prompt viewers to become armchair detectives and deduce which event is happening in which universe. While progressing its parallel universe narrative, Constellation's Episode 7 also sheds more light on the human elements of its overarching storyline. For instance, it shows how returning to his original universe does not change Bud as a person. Similarly, the Constellation episode also portrays one of the biggest challenges Joe faces in her journey to unpack what is happening around her, which seemingly foreshadows how her story will conclude. Constellation Episode 7's saddest scene seems to foreshadow Joe's ending. In Constellation Episode 7's ending arc, Joe finds herself at a crossroads when her real daughter waits for her to come with her while her daughter from the alternate universe lies unconscious before her eyes. Realizing that she cannot leave the alternate version of her daughter in such a critical state, she starts performing CPR on her and asks her real daughter to return to her father. Moments later, when the alternate Alice awakens, Joe becomes aware of what she has done and tries to look for her real daughter, only to realize it is too late. This tragic scene from Constellation's Episode 7 seems to foreshadow the dire choice Joe will eventually have to make. If she somehow finds a way to return to her original universe, she will have to go away from the alternate version of her daughter, leaving her without a mother. On the other hand, if she chooses to stay in the parallel universe, in which she has switched places with her alternate self, her real daughter will grow up without a mother. Either way, as established in Episode 7, it is a lose-lose situation for Joe. Joe accepting her new reality would end Constellation on a bittersweet note. Noomi Rapace looking wary as Joe in Constellation. Beyond its metaphysical explorations of quantum physics, Apple TV Plus' Constellation is more or less an exploration of one's struggles with accepting change and embracing the uncertainty that comes with it. All characters experiencing the quantum superpositions in the show's storyline either fear living in their alternate reality or returning home to their original one. For instance, while Bud hates the alternate world he has ended up in, Irina never wants to go back to her original universe. Henry, too, wishes to stay in the alternate world instead of returning to a world where he is not considered a hero. Similarly, both versions of Alice wish to be with their real mothers. Since Joe is the protagonist, Constellation will likely end her arc on a bittersweet note, where she will embrace her new life in the alternate universe and accept that her daughter from her original universe will have to live without her. This development in Constellation would highlight how, unlike characters like Henry, Bud, and Irina, Joe is not entirely consumed by her longing to return to her past and is resilient in the face of change.